If you land on the UCloud homepage, you should enter directly into My Workspace. And from here, you can, on the left-hand side, hover your mouse over the navigation menu items, go down to the icon with some people's heads on it, and then select the Apply for Resources option. This will open up a new project application. You can switch over to selecting an existing project if you have applied for top-ups on existing projects, but for this case, it is a new project. We can copy over or switch over to our email that we have received and copy and paste the project title we have used in our Cloudia application form into this application. Please note that anything submitted in this platform that has not been pre-approved by Cloudia will automatically be rejected. In the first options, just beneath where you input your project title, you're allowed to select the duration for which this allocation of resources should be active. This is not a selection of how long your project should be active, but how long the allocation should be active. In this case, we can select 6 months, which we assume is the maximum duration of any semester. If you know that a project is going to run on over multiple semesters, you need to inform us of that in your application. Type 1 AAU is the only option that Aalborg researchers and students have access to, and you can check the box to open up or fold out the options available. And here are the options that you've selected or informed us about in your Cloudia application, just ordered slightly differently as they are ordered by alphabetical ordering as opposed to the size of the machines. So if we go back to our email address, we can find the SDU component, and we have 8,000 core hours, 7 GPU hours, and 2 gigabytes of storage. And we can just simply type those in. 8,000, 7 GPU hours, and 2 gigabytes of storage. We did not need an IP address, but we did request some MATLAB licenses. Just go back to the application and just double check. We had 3 MATLAB licenses approved in this application, and we can include those. This section of the application form includes licenses for the SDU standard compute area. These are SDU applications. We're in the process of having these licenses extended to the AAU Kubernetes or the AAU app environment at the bottom, but we need to confirm that in the near future. For now, these MATLAB console and ANSYS apps will only work on the SDU compute environment. Let's just go back to our resources and fill in the remaining resources. So the AAU standard compute resources had 100 core hours in UC1 GC1, which is our general compute or CPU area. So if we put that in GC1, it's 100 hours, and I think it was 5 GPU hours on an A10 and 2 gigabytes. And you can see the ordering is a little bit muddled here. In the AAU virtual machine environment, which is this red AAU icon, you can see that we start out with A10, A100, A40, as opposed to T4, A10, A40, etc. So we just need to be aware of the order when entering the variables. And in this case, we've got rather simply 300 UC general or CPU hour machine hours. So we can find those are the UC general are 300. And in all of the others, we put 2 hours. These are virtual machines, and just bear in mind that these will die after you end a job. At the bottom of the application form, there are spaces to include an introduction to the project, which we do not require because this information is provided in your abstract or motivation and description field in the Cloudia application. So you can leave that field blank. Where you do need to fill in a DeiC Interactive project number, and you can just copy that directly from the email you received. It's the number right at the top of the email. And let's just paste that in. The other 2 major reference number possibilities are in the cases where you have yourself as a researcher applied for a work project with sensitive data, in which case the Department of Grants and Contracts or contracting them would have provided you with a work zone case number. In other cases, there may be a separate data processing agreement. If you have got a separate data processing agreement between AAU and some external party together with the eScience Center, then that data processing agreement's work zone case number should be inputted here. Apart from that, that's the entire application form completed, and you can click Submit Application. And that then enters the review phase for an Aalborg University representative in Claudia to come in and either approve or reject. That will need to be compared with the application that you submitted via the Claudia application form, just to check that no errors have been made.